Howdy, and welcome back to the Dice Cast. We've had a little bit of a sabbatical because of some new additions to the Dice Cast family.
Absolutely. Having 3 kids apparently cuts into Warhammer time.
It really does.
But we're back.
Absolutely.
Guess who's back? Like I was thinking, Eminem's been playing through my mind as we've been going through this. So,
right and we've got a bunch of new rules that we're now getting back into the middle of.
A new GHB, wow.
Mm-hmm. And a new FAQ as well. So there's several things have changed, a lot of points, a lot of rules, and now the new wizard focus of this GHB is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I almost want to stop and just do a Dice podcast so we can get some hot takes out on some general unenthusiastic responses that we've had so far, principally.
We live for the hot takes.
Yeah, we do.
So tonight we've got another Soulblight matchup. I'm bringing another sub-faction that I haven't brought so far, and you're going back to your roots a little bit, or your befouled roots.
Yeah, I haven't played much in the last 4 months, so I said let's go back to something that's I'm used to and that hasn't changed much. So we're going to go right back to Nurgle.
All right, let's get into it.
Sounds good. All right, so as Nick alluded to, I am playing the following host today. My beast actually saw a bit of a drop in points for this GHB, so we're going to start off with Beast's best friend, who's Horticulous. I am bringing Sloppity Bio Piper as well. He has a Nullstone icon because I have no wizards in my army. I have Gutrot Spume, and I also have a Lord of Afflictions, who will be wearing the 4-up ward save artifact as well as Overwhelming Stench. I then have a Gentleman's 5 Beasts of Nurgle, and then I have 3 Plague Drones, 2 +4 Blightlords, and 2 new additions to the family, 2 10s of Rotmire Creed. The kind of principle of this army is going to be to attack from multiple angles, bring a little shooting, mixed arms, see how this works instead of going super beast heavy. So we'll see how it does against Nick's techie Soulblight Gravelords list. Nick, what you got for me?
I love an army that is full of tricks, and this Legion of Night list should not disappoint. It's got all the tricks. So it has got the Empire of Corpses Grand Strat that's going to be achieved if I bring back enough summonable units from the grave. I've got Manfred for everything he does. I loved him in the old book. I love him in the new book. Really excited to see him on the table here. A Vampire Lord and a Necromancer as my other heroes, and King Morlack Velmorn. The Vampire Lord is my general. He's got the Bait, which is going to make me a little more durable in turn 1, and he's got Morbeg's Claw to really boost up his casting bonuses and give that out in a bubble. He knows Merciless Blizzard, and then the Necromancer knows Hoarfrost, and Manfred knows Waste Away. So I've got some casting potential here. There's some good debuffs and some good damage I can hand out with those things. For my units, I've got 2 20s of Graveguard as big hammers, and then I've got a 20 of zombies, a 10 of Direwolves as chaff, the Sons of Velmorn to really hand out some no pile-in on the Legion of Night charges, and a unit of Askergan Trueblades that can hand out fights last in the same circumstances. I'm excited about what they can do, and really, like I said, trying out the tricks in this Legion of Night army. And then I've got 3 Fellbats just as a fast speed bump presence. For my endless spells, I've got the Pendulum. There's some other endless spells that we know are really good in this General's Handbook. I want to experiment with some other ones before I settle on the secret sauce. So tonight we're playing Lines of Communication, one of the new battle plans, and this one plays fairly straightforwardly. We've got a 22-inch gap in between our deployments, 1-2 more for our scoring as usual, but then the interesting thing with this one is that the player going second each turn can disrupt one of the phases during that battle round. And so during that disrupted phase in both players' turns, their opponent may have to spend an extra command point to use their abilities.
My deployment, I deep struck everything that could. Gutrot Spume can take 2 mortal units with him. He took both Rotmire Creed. The Lord of Afflictions can bring up to 2 units, either or of Pusko, Blight Lords, and Plague Drones. He took both. And then we have just 5 beasts spread out a little bit to hopefully avoid some of Nick's endless spells. And they move pretty quickly, so I'm generally not too concerned about them getting to be where they need to be.
Much like Justin, I deep struck as much as I could here. I really put everything into the grave. My 2 units of Grave Guard, my 1 unit of 20 zombies, the Sons of Elmorn, and Velmorn himself. I want to have the flexibility of bringing those down in different areas around the board. So I castled up, bubbled out some screens because I know Justin's got some pretty effective deep striking that he can bring in some places. And if he does, I'll have some options to kind of counterpunch a little bit. But for the most part, I just wanted to give my heroes some really nice safe bubbles until I got most of those pieces on the board.
I am going to give Nick first turn.
Okay, sounds good. Good
luck,
Justin.
Nick. And the rule of lines of communication is I get to pick a phase where Nick could have to spend extra command points, so I'm going to pick the movement phase.
Okay. At the start of the round, we've got to do some rolling for our primal dice. So we each roll 1 dice for those, for our shared primal dice, and neither of us got one of those. And then my battalion has a chance to give me a primal dice on a 3-up, and it fails. So neither of us is going to start with any primal dice here, which is going to change my plans a little bit. For my battle tactic here, I'm going to take Expand the Grave Empires. I complete it if I control 2 or more objectives wholly outside my territory, and each of those objectives is contested by a friendly summonable or vampire unit. And then we'll get into my heroic action, which is actually going to be the Swift form heroic action, which is Legion of Night specific heroic action. And I'm going to use that to teleport Manfred here.
So because I'm going at the second half of this battle round, I am going to choose to give an extra command point to my Sloppity Biopiper.
Sure.
I need a heroic action here myself. Yeah. So I am going to give an extra unbind to Sloppity.
Okay, sounds good. And then it looks like I'm really hanging Manfred out to dry here, but I've got him in a position where he can smash off that malignant pus blight or whatever it's called, and he will be able to teleport to safety if I choose to do so in my turn. So he's not as vulnerable out there as he might look. This list is really built to push the Vampire Lord up and do some extra damage with his spellcasting, but without any primal dice coming in on this turn, I'll hold off on that. Into the hero phase proper, the Vampire Lord is going to go ahead and drop Morbeg's Claw for a bubble of +2 to cast. The Necromancer then is going to attempt to cast Hoarfrost, and going to get that 9 on dice +2 from Morbeg's Claw. That's going to be an 11.
You're good.
And so that's going to go on the unit of True Blades. I'll roll the dice for that, and I got a 1, so they are going to be hitting on 1s.
We're going to take a little step back. I need to roll on my Wheel of Corruption. I'm going to get a 6, which is going to be not ideal. It's going to add 1 to my rolls for my disease dice.
Manfred is then going to attempt to cast his War Scroll spell, which is an area of effect of mortal wounds here, and getting that currently on a 7. No bonuses here.
I'm going to attempt to unbind. I'm going to stop that on a 12.
Okay, and then Manfred is going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield, and you get an extra unbind because of your artifact there as soon as you're successful, getting that on a 9. Okay, and so he'll take Mystic Shield on himself. And my Vampire Lord, very simply, is just going to load up an Arcane Bolt here, and going to get that on a 7 up to a 9.
And I have 3 unbinds here, so I'm going to try to stop that.
Sure.
Nope.
Okay, so Arcane Bolt on the Vampire Lord. And then we can get it to movement. relatively straightforward movement phase here. I definitely wanted to play things very defensively, so I held back almost everything. Manfred is out there hanging out near Justin's terrain piece, so I can try to destroy that with a monstrous action, but I don't want to really engage anything, so I just pushed things up onto the objectives to grab a couple of them, and played it very safe. So for right now, we're not going to have any shooting. The only thing I have to do in the charge phase is that Manfred is going to attempt to destroy that piece of terrain, and he fails to do so on a 1. And then we've got no combat, no battle shock. That's going to be the turn. I do get my battle tactic for holding those 2 with summonable pieces, and I will score 1, 2, and more for a total of 5 points here. And we'll get into the bottom of 1 for Nurgle. At the start of Justin's turn, then, I get to roll for my Antorian locuses to see if I get a primal dice, and I do.
So for my battle tactic, I am going to choose Intimidate the Invaders. You complete this battle tactic if at the end of the turn, if there are more friendly units wholly outside your territory than there are friendly units within your territory. Horticulus is going to plant his tree. I'm then going to total up my contagion points. I get 3 for having any Nurgle units in my territory. I get 1 for each tree. I don't get a bonus because Manfred is in mine, so that will give me 5 total contagion points for this turn. No locus of fecundity here, as nothing is wounded. We will then go into my hero phase proper.
Heroic action.
Heroic action, I will attempt to get a command point, and he'll get 1.
You got it. And then Manfred, for his heroic action, is going to use that teleport for Legionnaire Knight, and he's going to sneak away.
So I have nothing really to do in my hero phase, so we're going to go right into movement. All right, so for my movement phase, I deep struck my Gutrot Spume and my Rotmire in a position where they could actually shoot something. I need to get as many shots off the Rotmire as I can early. The Puscoil's on our spot to potentially charge Nick's zombies and disrupt his control over the objectives right now. And all of my beasts are in a position to charge to clear objectives as well. Going into shooting, I'm going to spend a command point from my Gutrot to give +1 to Rotmire Creed. This is going to be 20 attacks, hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. 6s will do a disease point into your wolves.
Okay, and because this is still round 1, I've got the bait, so they're going to be +1 to save and +1 to their ward rolls as well.
So I'm looking for 6s here. That's going to be 2 disease points into the wolves. 1 is going to bounce over to Manfred.
Okay.
Then these will wound on 3s. It's going to be a total of 7 saves.
Okay, and with no rend, these are going to be 4-ups because of the bait. And I am going to fail 3 of those. They've got their ward, which is currently a 5-up. Again, because of the bait, going to fail all 3 of those. That is going to kill a wolf and a half.
My other unit of Rotmire Creed are going to shoot. This will instead be 4s and 3s. 5 disease points. And then 3s to wound. That's going to be a total of 8.
Okay. And these are 4-ups again. And we're going to have 4 of those come through. And then the 5-up ward rolls. And going to fail all those. That's going to be 2 more dead wolves.
We're then going to go into the charge phase. I'm going to start with first my Lord of Afflictions.
Okay.
3. That's not going to do it. I'll spend a command point to reroll. Nope. I'll try with my 2 Puscoil. They need a 9 to get into the zombies. I'm going to use my Triumph to reroll that. They'll get in on a 9.
Okay.
On a 2-up, you'll take D3
Okay.
for 1.
Okay, and they've got that 5-up ward from the bait, and they'll take it. That is 1 dead zombie.
I'm going to charge with my furthest gentleman. He's going to get in.
111. Got choices. Got some impact mortals?
Yep, on a 2-up, I'll do D3. Sure. Yep. For 2.
Okay, 5-ups. And going to save one of those, 1 more dead zombie.
This gentleman will charge. Got an 8.
Into the bats.
Into the bats. On the 2-up, they'll take D3. For 3.
For 3. 5-ups. And that'll be 1 dead bat.
This guy will charge. He'll reroll 6.
Rerolls here coming from Horticulus.
Nope.
And here I had a couple opportunities for some counter charges. I opted not to take any of those. The things that are tied up into combat are the things that I kind of intended to have tied up into combat. And Justin wisely didn't give me a good counter charge with Manfred.
So I'm going into the start of my combat phase. My love is like a ripe fart, which basically shuts down pile-ins any closer to a Nurgle demon unit.
Okay. And the radius on that is wholly within 12?
Wholly within 14 from Soppity.
Okay, got it. Activating with the pus coils first?
Yeah. They're going to start off with their blighted weapon.
Okay.
This is going to be 10 attacks, 3s and 3s.
I am going to issue an all-out defense here on the zombies. They've got +1 because of the bait, and then an extra +1 because of this. So they're going to be a little more defensive than normal.
This will give them a 6-up.
They've got a 6-up base.
Oh, they have a 6. I thought they had nothing.
They used to.
So 3s and 3s. 6s will do a disease point. That is 1, 2 disease points. 3s to wound. It's going to be 3, 6, 7 at -1.
Okay, they're going to be on a 5-up with all of that. So they've got a 6-up base now. They're on +2, which pushes them down to a 4, or would be a 4. And then the -1 brings them to a 5. And so they are going to save one of those. How much damage?
Just roll it again.
Okay, 5-up ward.
Solid ward roll.
And so the ward roll here is going to save 4 of them. That is going to be 2 more dead zombies.
And then they have their foul or claws, mouth parts, and sting. This will be 12 attacks, 3s and 3s. We're going to add another disease point there.
Okay, they're up to 3 now.
And then a total of 5.
Okay, 5-ups. And going to save 2 of those, and then 5-up wards. And none of those, so 3 more dead. My activation then with the bats. No pile-in available here for the bats to make. They'll just take their swings, and they're both going to put their attacks into that center beast of Nurgle. So this is going to be 6 total attacks. These are on 4s and 4s. Pretty devastating. That is 4 hits. And just 1 wound at no rent.
So it'll be a 5-up.
2 damage.
5 ups. I'll pass him.
Okay.
I'm gonna attack with my one Beast of Nurgle that can go into the zombies, but
Okay, makes sense.
4 attacks, 3s and 3s because they're in range of Horticulus. No disease points. And then 2 at -1.
Okay, 2 5s. Gonna make one of those. How much damage?
2 damage.
Okay, 5 up ward. And gonna fail both of those. 2 more dead zombies. I've been pulling from the back here, and zombies no longer explode when they're pulled from further than 3 inches away.
And then D6 attacks for 5. These will be 3s and 3s. No disease points. And 4 at no rend.
4 at no rend are 5 ups. Can't get better than the 5. Made 2 of those. How much damage?
Just 1 damage each.
Okay, 5 ups. Gonna make one of those. 1 more dead zombie. The zombies will then go. They can't make a pile in any closer to the Beast of Nurgle here. So I'm gonna pile in a little bit closer to the Puscoils where I can. And ultimately we're just gonna have 1 into the Beast of Nurgle and 2 into the Puscoils. So the 2 into the Puscoils, no hits, and then the 1 into the Beast of Nurgle, 1 hit, failed the wound.
If you don't have any objections with it, I would like to combine my last 2 beasts attacking into there.
All into the bats?
Yep. So it's going to be 8 attacks, 3s and 3s. 6s will do a disease point. Not great, Bob. 1 disease point, and then 3 hits. And then 2 wounds at -1.
Okay. The bait cancels the -1, so these are going to be on 6s. Going to fail both of those.
4 damage.
4 damage total, 5 ups. And going to fail all those, so that is going to be 4 damage.
And then they'll get 2d6 on their other side for a total of 4. 3s and 3s. 1 disease point. And 3 saves at no rend.
Okay, 3 5 ups. Made 2 of those, 1 damage each.
Yep.
5 up. Failed that, so that's 1 more damage and 1 more disease point there. Just 1 wound left in that bat.
And that will be it for fighting here.
Okay, all the disease points tick up in combat.
Yep. And the only good part of my roll was that these will now do a mortal wound on a 4 up instead of a 5.
Okay.
So we'll start with the zombies. This is going to be 4 dice. That's going to be 2 disease.
Okay.
Or 2 mortal wounds.
5 ups. They'll take 2 more. 2 more dead zombies.
Then we'll go into your bat. 3 mortal wounds.
3 5 ups. That is going to be a dead bat.
Thank you. And then 7 into the dogs.
The dire wolves.
The good doggos. And we will do a total of 1.
Okay. They've got their 5 up ward, and they'll make it.
And I would roll on Manfred, but there's really no reason to because he'll be able to ignore it.
Yep, he ignores 1 per phase, so that's not going to be relevant.
We'll take these back to 1.
I am going to spend a command point here to auto-pass Battle Shock on those zombies, spent from Manfred.
I control 1, control 2, control more, and I completed my battle tactic this turn, so I will end up with a total of 5 as well.
Sounds good.
It will go into priority for next round.
I've got a 1 to your 1.
You stopped my dice. That was an awesome block.
you got to play defense sometime. So I've got the choice here. I've got a couple of your units that are tied up into combat pretty nicely. I don't have tremendous threats coming in. So this is the sort of turn where it would be relatively tempting to give the turn. I've got some of your important pieces tied up and screened off. And I don't want to commit my pieces to the board if I can help it until I've got the potential at a double turn. So I am going to give you the turn here, and we'll go into the top of 2 with Nurgle taking over.
So beginning would be Locus of Fecundity going off.
Before we get into that, there's a couple things to do at the start of the round. So first up, we're going to roll for our primal dice. And we will each get 1 from that roll. And then I'm going to roll for my primal dice from my battalion, and I'll get an additional one from that. I'm going to pick the combat phase to punish you on the lines of communication rule here.
My wheel is going to tick forward to corrupted regrowth at the start of my hero phase. I'm going to get an extra CP for each feculent armor on the table.
Okay.
So a couple of things here. I'm going to get 3 for having a unit in Nick's territory. I'm going to get 3 for still having a unit in my territory. So that's going to be another 6. I'm going to get a total of 4, bringing my total to 10, plus another 1 because Nick doesn't have a unit in my territory. So 11 plus the 5 I had last turn brings me a total of 16 contagion points. I'm going to do Glory to the Grandfather. You complete this tactic at the end of this turn if more enemy units than friendly units are destroyed during this turn.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm going to try to get an extra command point from my general, Lord of Afflictions. I will not.
And I'm going to try to get an extra command point from Manfred. And I do not.
There's no targets on this battlefield that I feel are ripe enough, especially with Nick's shenanigans he can do with Manfred redeploy, that I can get into that make the turn super worthwhile. So what I'm going to kind of do is back up a little bit, reconcentrate forces, summon some stuff on, and then see how the next turn plays out and kind of go from there.
Also, at the end of the movement, I've got a chance to bring back that slain unit of bats. I need a 4-up because it's your turn, and I get it, so I'll be able to bring back 2 of those 3 bats. Outside of 9 now, no longer outside of 3.
Into shooting. So I'm going to put all of my first unit shots into the dogs.
Okay.
This is going to be 20 shots.
I no longer have the bait here available. And as a result, I'm tempted to all-out defense here. And I think I will. It's useful enough to have these dogs still around for a little while.
Okay. So this will be 20 shots. 4s and 3s. And no run. 6s with disease. Just 2 disease.
Okay, they're up to 3.
And 3's the wound. This will be a total of 5.
5 of them at no rend, so these are going to be the 4-ups from that all-out defense. Going to pass 3 of them, and then 6-up wards. Going to pass one of those, so that's 1 damage that finishes off that wounded wolf.
I am going to spend 1 command point for all out on the second unit. So
Okay.
this is going to be 20 attacks.
And this is also into the wolves?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think I have another target. This will be...
And that also spreads a disease into Manfred again, right?
Yes.
Okay.
3s and 3s. Only 1 disease, not the hottest of rolls. And then this will just be 5 saves.
5 saves, again on 4s. And going to save 3 of those, 6s. And that is going to kill 1 more wolf.
We'll go into charges. We'll start with the
Sure,
beast that Nick painted for me. He'll get in on a 7.
8 on a 7. And some impact hits. Oh, at the end of the movement phase, the zombie's disease also ticked up.
Thank you. D3 for 1.
Okay, 6 up. That'll kill a zombie.
Second zombie, or second beast, 7 will be good enough. 2 up. D3 for 2.
6 ups. 1 more dead zombie, saved one of those.
And then we'll try a charge with the other guy. 3, we'll re-roll it from Horticulous into a 3. No, he'll stay where he's at. We're going to attack first with the Gravelords.
Okay. Again, no counter charges here.
And I'm going to do early one evening. My pustule was seeping. A 6 to wound will do immortal.
It's a beautiful tune.
Yeah, everybody likes it. We'll start off with 10 attacks, 3s and 3s. Oh, no, sorry. Before I get into that attack, I actually did want to attempt a charge with Gut Rot Spume.
Okay.
4 won't do it. I'm going to re-roll that with a point. Nope.
Okay, and that brings you to 0 command points.
Spend them like I owned them. I'm going to go proceed with that attack then.
Sure.
This will be 10 attacks, and these will be 3s and 3s. 2 disease. And 5 hits. Or
Okay.
5 wounds.
At -1, they'll go straight through. How much damage?
Just 1 each.
Okay. 6 ups, and they'll pass 1 of those, so that's 4 more dead zombies, and then 2 more disease. Just 2 zombies left there.
And then we'll have 12 attacks. 3s and 3s. Another disease point. And then it will just be 3 saves.
Okay. Straight through with their -1.
No minuses here.
Oh, no minuses. So 6 up saves. Gonna pass 1 of those. 1 damage each on those. 6 up ward. That is gonna clean the unit of zombies.
I think you owe me some explosions.
I do. So that was a total of 6 zombies that died in melee there. And so on 5 ups, they are going to do a total of 4 mortal wounds back.
4, 5 ups. We'll pass 2. We'll take
Okay.
2.
The wolves are within 6 and therefore eligible for a pile-in, but I wouldn't be able to get enough of them onto that objective to take it, and it would open me up for some counter pile-ins from the Beasts of Nurgle there. I'm just going to remain where they are.
Beasts of Nurgle still get a pile in.
Okay. So you've got control of all the objectives on the field, and how'd you do?
It's kind of an turn. I wasn't presented with any. Before we do that, let's let's get some disease going. First we have Manfred.
Sure, 2 of them.
He will take none.
Okay.
And then 4 on the good boys. They will take 1.
Okay, 1 on the wolves, 6 up ward. They will fail it, and that is consequential. That does just 1 damage to one of the wolves, but that's going to limit my ability to heal a little bit. So that 1 extra damage does make a difference here.
So I am going to score 5 because I completed my battle tactic as well. It was kind of a defensive offensive turn where I have some concerns
Sure.
about what you could potentially do coming up here. But, the army's holding strong right now, and let's see what you can do.
Okay, so you got your 5 points. And then at the start of the bottom of 2, we'll roll for our primal dice. So each roll on 1 dice. And we each get 1 more there.
So I'll have 2 extra.
And I'm currently on 3, and then I've got my my battalion. Try to get 1 more, and I do, so I'm up to 4 primal dice here. It's going to give me some options. I am going to pick my Vampire Lord to get 2 spell casts this turn because I am going second. For my battle tactic, I'm going to do the very, very easy one. I'm just going to have more units wholly outside of my territory than wholly within at the end of this turn. Should be very, very achievable. For my heroic action, I'm just going to go for a command point on Manfred. And I failed it.
I'm going to take an extra unbind from Sloppity.
Makes sense. My Vampire Lord is going to draw the sigils with the Morbeg's Claw. So I'll get my +2 to cast in a bubble here. And then we'll get into casting proper. My first cast is going to be from the Necromancer then. And he is going to attempt to cast Hoarfrost on 2 dice with +2. Currently on a 6. I'm going to use one of my primal dice for that. So that is going to put me to a 9. And I will use one more primal dice. So that is going to go to a 13.
You're fine with that.
All right, so I'll put that on the True Blades most likely. We'll see what the effect is. And it is going to be a 1 again. They are going to be hitting on 1s once more. Next up, the Vampire Lord is going to attempt to cast the Pendulum. And my first 2 dice get that to a 6. I'm going to use a primal dice here and make that a 7. I'm at +2, so currently on a 9, and I'll let it sit on a 9.
I'm going to attempt to unbind.
Okay.
6. I'm going to add a primal dice.
Okay. 7.
7. I'm going to add another.
9.
Oh, brutal.
Okay, so it will go off on a 9. Manfred is then going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield first off. And he's getting that currently on a 5. Do you have any unbinds left?
I do.
I will primal dice one more dice onto that 5.
There's a 1 and a 4, right?
There is a 1 and a 4. Oh, actually, he's got that on a 7 because of the +2. No primal dice here.
I'll attempt to unbind.
Okay.
Nope.
Tied it. So that will go off. Mystic Shield's going to be on Manfred then. And then he's going to attempt to cast his War Scroll spell. That is going to be on an 11, and I'll use my last primal dice for that because there's no reason to save it up here, so that's going to be a 13.
You got it.
So he gets to pick 1 unit within 18 inches. And we'll do the Beast of Nurgle in the middle here. And so it and every other unit within 6 inches on a 3-up is going to take D3. So we'll do the one in the middle there. It takes 1.
He'll take 1.
Okay, the one closest to me takes 2.
He'll take 1.
The one behind it takes 1.
Nope.
Horticulus takes 3.
He'll take 3.
The Plague Bearers take 3.
You know you can fail a 3-up.
I can't apparently fail a 3-up.
They'll take 2. 1 will die.
Okay. Sloppity is going to take 2.
I'll take 1.
Okay. The one up on the terrain feature does not take it, and then the one in the back corner does take it for 1.
Yeah, I'll take 1. I think I made 1.
Okay. So against most armies, obviously that would be quite a bit better than it is against Nurgle, but I'll take the damage where I can get it here. That is going to be it for my casting. My Deathly Invocation then is going to do the only thing it can. It's going to heal that 1 damage on the Dire Wolves. I can't bring any back because 1 is wounded, so that's going to be all I get out of that. So the Aether Void Pendulum is then going to move up to 8 inches. So the Beast of Nurgle that it passed over on a 2-up, yes, we'll take D6 for 3.
3, 5 ups. Past 2. He'll take 1.
And then the Puscoils, no, rolled the 1. And so with that, we can get into movement. Movement phase here, I really pushed toward the center with Manfred and brought some extra bodies on that center objective. And then I brought in some things from out of the grave. I got my 10 zombies back on their roll, so I really just kind of tried to kludge up the area in front of the Rotmeyer Creed with that speed bump. So that's my second summonable unit returned. And then I brought in 20 Graveguard to line up a charge on the flanks to try to get some work done here. Also brought in Velmorn and his boys to see what they can do. So going for some charges here. The first charge I'm going to attempt is with that block of 20 Graveguard. They need a 9 out of their Deep Strike. And they got a 10. They're going in. Sure. Then going to attempt to charge with Manfred, and he fails it with a 2. I am going to spend to re-roll that one. And so he's got it on an 11. The Askergan Trueblades are then going to charge, and they got a 12. So apart from the 2, which I re-rolled, some big numbers this charge phase. And that's going to be it for my charges. I'm going to leave the Sons of Velmorn and Velmorn out. Not going to attempt them. So we can get into the monstrous actions. How many wounds does that have left? 6. Okay. Manfred is going to start off by stomping on the Beast Nurgle there. Yes, for 2 mortal wounds.
I'll pass one.
Okay.
I'm going to shut down Pylons.
Okay. Manfred fights first here, and so he'll be cracking into the beast. So I'm going to do the Geistvor last, as per his rule. So we'll do a Sickle Glaive first. This is going to be on 3s and 3s. 1 hit. And no wounds. The Ebon Claws. 6 of them. And these are going to be on 4s and 3s. Just 1 hit. And 1 at -2.
I'll go right through damage.
2 damage.
I'll take both. He's at 5.
Spectral Claws and Daggers on 4s and 4s. That is going to be none of them. And then Geistvor, 5
What's
attacks.
What's Geistvor's rule?
So it will pop off a +1 attacks to summonable. There aren't going to be anything in range except the Dire Wolves.
Okay.
And so Geistvor on 3s and 3s. Not my hottest attack rolls ever. That is going to be just 1 at -2.
Goes right through damage.
2 damage.
He'll take both. He'll have 1 wound left.
Okay. And then my first proper activation is going to be with the Graveguard. I am going to all-out attack them and put as many of their attacks in as I can. Of course, they can't pile in. So I've got 7 into the Beast of Nurgle on the edge there. That is going to be 14 attacks on 3s and 3s. And the 6s here are mortal wounds in addition. So 2 mortal wounds in addition. And then we've got 8 at -1.
8 at -1 will give me 6 ups. I did not make any damage.
They're 2 damage each.
So this will be 16 plus 1, 17, 5 ups. He's dead.
Okay, and then we've got 5 of them into the next piece of Nurgle. That is going to be 10 attacks plus 1 for the champion there in the center. So that is going to be 3 mortal wounds and 6 saves to make.
6 ups. I made 1.
And they're 2 wounds each.
So this will be 10 plus 3.
Yep.
5 ups. So I'm going to fail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's dead.
Okay. And then 3 of them into the Plague Bearers, total of 6 attacks. That is going to be 5 of them, no mortal wounds, but 5 at -1.
Those will go right through.
Okay. 10 damage.
I'm just going to save 1, so that will kill 4.5 plague bearers.
Okay. Important to note there, when Manfred's hunger went off, he will have healed off that 1 disease point for now.
I'm attacking with the Beast of Nurgle into Manfred.
Okay.
This is going to be 4 attacks, 3s and 3s. 1 disease point. No wounds, d6 attacks for 3. Another disease point. And 1 wound.
Okay. Any rend?
Nope.
2 up with that Mystic Shield. He's good. But he is up to 2 disease points now. Now, crucially, I would love to pile in my Direwolves and try to finish off that Beast of Nurgle, but I can't pile in closer to that beast because it is within Sloppity's aura. And so, likewise with my True Blades, I just have 1 of the True Blades within range to make his attacks. So this is going to be 2 attacks, hitting on 1s because of that Hoarfrost, so they both hit. Of course, 1s would have failed anyway, but that is going to be 2 at -1.
It's going to go right through.
1 damage each.
You're going to kill 1, and then 1 will slide over.
Okay, wearing them down a little bit. And I believe that is going to be it for combat here. I activate the Direwolves. They don't have an eligible pile-in. You've got the Plague Bearers to go.
I am not going to pile them in. They're just going to stay where they're at.
Okay. At the end of the combat phase, the diseases are then going to tick up on a few of these units. Manfred's going to go up, the True Blades are going to go up, and the Graveguard are going to go up.
So the 3 5-ups on Manfred.
Okay.
He's going to take 2.
Okay. He's got 2 6-ups. He's going to fail both of those. He's going to ignore the first one of the phase, so he is going to take 1 damage.
The dogs, they're going to take 1.
Okay. On a 6-up, they're good.
Your True Blades will take 1.
They take it.
And your Graveyard, they will be fine.
Okay.
Then old Battle Shock, the Nurgle Plague Bearers have 10 bravery. I lost 6. So it's basically going to be whatever I roll. I'm sorry. If I roll a 5 or a 6, someone run. They're fine.
Okay. And I really would have liked to finish off that Beast of Nurgle with Manfred. Left it alive there on 1 wound. That's pretty consequential. So he is now tied up in combat. But I do get my battle tactic, and I hold 1, hold 2, hold more. So I am going to score 5 points here.
So very consequential. Priority roll
This
here.
one could be big. I've got a 2 to your 2. That means you have the choice.
I am going to take this turn.
Okay.
The reason I'm taking it is it just makes sense to do this. Because of how things are tied up for Nick, I kind of have some good potential swings. And I think now is the turn to try to, get Manfred if I can.
Sure. I feel like these first couple turns have gone well for me. I made the big charge with the Graveguard and got a couple of Beasts and Nurgle off, and they're always difficult to shift. Good output there in general. Just one more damage on the Beast and Nurgle, and I'd feel spectacular here.
Sure. My wheel is going to tick 1. So it is now going to be that my heroes all have a 4-up mortal or a ward save. Unnatural vitality. We're going to have roll for some primal dice here.
And we both hit it, so we're both sitting on 2 of them. And then I've got my 3 up for primal, and I got it. I am going to pick the combat phase again here for you.
Sure. Locus of Fecundity is going to go off. I'm going to do some stuff before I decide to pick a battle tactic. I'm going to start with my unit of Soulblight Lords. They're going to heal D3. They'll heal 1. They'll have 1 wound taken.
Okay. Who's this?
That's my very wounded one. He's
Okay.
going to heal 1.
Okay.
These will clear. This will clear. This will clear. This will go to 1. And Horticulus will heal 1. I am going to take Led into the Maelstrom. You complete this battle tactic if 1 or more friendly heroes and 1 or more friendly battle line units each made a charge move this turn, and at least one of those units is within 3 of an enemy unit at the end of the turn.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do my contagion points. So I'll get 1, 2, 5 total here to bring my total to 7. For my heroic action, I'm going to attempt to unbind the pendulum.
Okay.
This is, I need a 8 or 7 on dice. Just need to tie it, right?
You need a 7 on dice. You need to beat it.
I'll do it for my general. And I will unbind that.
Okay. And I am going to, I'm going to finest our Manfred because I am a little bit nervous.
Sounds good. Into my movement phase. All right, shooting. 2 of my plague drones are going to shoot at the unit of zombies, and
Okay.
then 1 of them will shoot at your good boys.
Sounds good.
So the one shooting at your good boys will have 5 shots. These will be 3s and 3s. Just 2.
Okay.
No run.
They've got 5 ups, and they're going to make 1 and then 1 damage. So 6 up ward. Made it.
And then there'll be 14 attacks into your zombies.
2 disease.
It's 5 saves.
5 saves here. They've just got their 6 ups. No rend, right?
All right.
6 ups. Gonna make 2 of those, and then their 6 up ward. Gonna make none of those. That's 3 dead zombies.
We're shooting with my creed that did not run.
Okay. Into the zombies here.
Yep.
Okay. 3 disease.
And 2 wounds.
2 6 ups. Made 1 of those and failed the other one on the ward, so that kills a zombie.
We're going to charge first with the Lord of Afflictions. 9 should be enough to get him in.
When that happens, I am going to attempt to countercharge the Legion of Night countercharge with my unit of Dire Wolves. and they're moving 5 inches. That's not going to get me really where I want to be, but it probably does something for me. So this one is going to end up right here, outside of 3 there, for what it's worth, within 3 of them.
Sure.
Lord of Afflictions does some damage on the impacts, though.
On a 2-up, he'll do D3. Let me verify. Yep. For 2.
Okay, 2 6-ups. Gonna block one of those, and then he ignores the first wound to the face.
This beast is going to charge. Go 9. On a 2-up, he'll do D3.
For 6-ups. Gonna take one of those.
Horticulus is going to charge. This beast will charge. A 9. On a 2-up. 3.
3 of them, 6-ups. He's gonna block one of those. He's already ignored his one for the phase, so he's gonna take 2 more.
I can charge with my plague drones. Get in on a 10. Gut Rot is going to charge. We'll get
Got
in
it.
on a 5.
Manfred here is going to try to stomp your badly wounded beast of Nurgle, and fails.
I'm then going to play Love is Like a Ripe Red Fart. That's
Sure,
like
shut
my
off the
favorite
pylons.
tune. We're going to attack first with my wounded beast. He's not benefiting from Horticulus here.
I can't all-out defense here because you've got the overpowering stench.
Sure. So this will be 4 attacks. 4s and 3s, 6s will do a disease point. It's going to be 2 saves at -1.
2 saves at -1 with the +2 to save are going to be 2s. Failed 1.
2 damage.
Okay. 6-ups. And failed both of those. Going to ignore the first one of those, so he takes 1.
And then D6 attacks on the back end for 4. 2. And no. Your turn.
I'm going to activate then with my dire wolves in the middle, and I would like to pile in, but I'm not able to do so because of the situation here. I'm going to have just 3 of them attacking into that wounded beast of Nurgle. Total of 7 attacks, including the leader there. That's a pretty spicy roll. I wish it was on a better unit to do it with, but that is going to be 4 of them at no rend.
This will be 4 5-ups, and this is 1 damage.
Yep.
So it's just going to be 5-ups, 5-ups. He's going to die.
Okay, got him.
I am going to attack with my other Beast of Nurgle.
Sure.
This is going to be 4 attacks, 3s and 3s into Manfred. He's going to take a disease.
Okay.
And then 2 saves at -1.
Okay, they're 2-ups. And he's going to fail one of those, 2 damage.
Yep.
6-ups. Fail both of those, so he takes 2.
And then D6 on the back end. 6 attacks. All hit. 3 at no rend.
3 2-ups. Going to fail one of those again, another
1
6-up.
damage.
Okay, he'll take that one. I'm then going to activate with Manfred, and he's going to put all of his attacks into that unwounded beast. And so we've got the Sickle Glaive. First up, these are going to be 3s and 3s. That is going to be just 1. None of them. I'm finest houred, actually, so that is going to be 1 at -1.
This will be a 6-up.
Okay. And then the Ebon Claws, 6 of those. on 4s and 3s. Good roll here. 4s and 2s because of that finest hour. That is going to be 3 at -2.
Go right through, damage.
2 damage each.
Will be 6 5-ups. Not going to make any. That will be 6 damage.
Okay, and then the Spectral Claws and Daggers on 4s and 3s. Just 2 hits. No wounds. And then Geistvor on 5 attacks, 3s and 2s. 4 hits. And 2 at -2.
Right through, damage.
2 damage each.
Need to make 3 of these. I will miss, so that will kill this beast.
Okay, that is going to heal Manfred the most possible. So that would heal Manfred for 6, but he's got 2 disease points on him, so it's going to remove those 2 disease points and then heal him for 4. Lord of Affliction going now, I would assume?
Yeah. So he has 3 damage taken total after all that.
Correct.
This is going to be 4 attacks, 3s and 3s. Three at -1.
3 at -1 are 2-ups. Gonna make all 3 of those.
And then 6 attacks, 3s, and 3s. There'll be 4 at Snowrend.
Okay, 2-ups. Gonna make all those.
Here you go.
I will activate with the True Blades. They can't pile any closer to demons, so that is their activation.
Horticulus. He'll have 3 attacks, 3s and 3s. Two at -1.
2 at -1 are going to be 6-ups. Blocked one of them.
D3 for 3.
6-ups. Rerolling 1s. Going to take 3.
And then D3 attacks for 1, 3. Nope.
I'll then activate my Graveguard. I've just got 1 into the Beast and 1 into Horticulus. That's all I can manage without a pile-in. So into the Beast, 1 hit, 1 wound at -1.
6 up. Nope.
2 damage.
He'll take 1.
And then into Horticulus, same story. Both of them miss.
My beast is going to fight back. 3s, 1 disease point. 3s, 3 saves at -1.
3 saves at -1 are 6s. Failed all 3 of those. 6s.
No, and then 3 more.
Oh, 6 damage total. Rerolling the 1s. And so that is going to be 6 more dead.
And then D6 attacks on the back end for 4. Just 1. And no. And then his back end, which will be 6 attacks. 3 more disease.
Okay.
And then just 2 at no rend.
2 at no rend. 2-ups. Failed both of them. 6-ups. Takes both of those.
And then we'll go with the 5 into your doggos. 1 disease. And then just 2 saves at -1.
Okay. 6s. Made 1.
Just 1 damage.
Okay. 6s. Takes it.
And then 6 attacks on the back end. 2 more disease. And absolutely no wounds off of 5 dice.
Okay. I'll activate with my zombies here.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have 12 attacks going into Gut Rot. Pretty good hit roll. That That is going to be 3 of them at no rent.
3 at no run. Use a 4. 2 and then 1. He'll take 1 wound.
Zombies getting it done.
He'll attack back. 4 attacks, 3s and 2s. Just 1 at -1 for D3 damage. For 3.
Okay. 6s. That is going to kill 2 of them, and they will kick back 1 mortal wound.
5-0. He's at 2 wounds taken, and then he'll have 6 attacks. 2s.
Another
Two
disease.
2 more disease.
They are capped.
And 4s. 3 at no run.
3 6-ups. Gonna fail all those. 6-ups. Gonna fail all those. 3 more dead. Leaves 1 left in the unit. And then the...
I'm only going to
bugs.
attack with the 1.
Okay.
2 attacks, 3s and 3s. 1 disease. And 1 save, no run.
Okay. 5 up. Nope. 1 damage.
Yep.
Okay. Take 1.
And you got the 2 disease, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then 6 attacks. No disease. 1 hit. And then just 1 save, no run.
5 up. Good. That is
tick
combat.
up.
Oh, you've got the plague bearers.
I'm not going to do anything.
Okay. Yeah, disease ticks up across the board.
So it's very important that I don't kill 2 of these guys, because then I can keep them locked into combat.
Sure.
But now that I've said that, I'm going to screw myself. I'm going to start with the zombies, just get rid of them.
Okay. 1 of them left.
7, 5 ups. 2.
6s. That is a dead zombie.
It's nice. Oh, and could you put 2 wounds on gut rot? Sure. All right, now the important one, the grave guard. None.
None.
Perfect.
Okay. The true blades, 2 of them.
None.
Okay. Manfred has 6 of them.
We'll do 3 there.
Okay. 6 ups. Saves 1, ignores 1, takes 1.
And then 6 into the doggos. And that will just be 2.
Okay. 6 ups. And that is going to kill a doggo.
I'm going to get my battle tactic. I control 1. I don't control more or 2. So I'm going to get 3 points here.
How do you feel like that went?
I'm fine with it. It didn't score the best. As far as keeping these grave guard kind of pinned is exciting. You know, finally getting rid of some zombies is nice. I feel like your material is getting thinned out nicely, and the material you have is kind of stuck right now. Your magic could obviously help you big time, but, you know, it's fine.
So we'll go into the bottom of 3 here, and we've got to roll for primal dice. And we both get them, so 2 more of them there.
So we have 4 each, and you might have,
I'm
5.
I'm at 5, and then I'll roll for a 3 up to get 1 more from my battalion. I do not. So I'm at 5, you're at 4. For this turn, I'm going to do Surround and Destroy. Pick 3 different friendly units on the battlefield. You complete this battle tactic at the end of your turn if each of those units is wholly within 6 inches of a different battlefield edge, and 2 or more of those units are wholly outside your territory. And for those 3 units, I'm going to pick the Necromancer, my unit of bats here, and King Velmorn. For my heroic action, I am going to use the Swift Form to teleport my Vampire Lord. The Vampire Lord, because I'm going second, is going to have 2 casts this turn.
My heroic action is I'm going to be turn Sloppity into a wizard, so he'll have 2 unbinds.
Sounds good. So my Vampire Lord is going to use the Claw, so he and the Necromancer will be +2 to cast.
Okay.
Okay. Vampire Lord's going to attempt to cast Merciless Blizzard. Need a 12 on this, got an 11. +2, he's at 13. I am going to roll a primal dice. He is at 19.
No, stop. That's a primal auto cast. You can't roll anymore. And
yes.
he's done casting.
He is done casting, but that goes off without being unbound. So he's got 4d6 mortal wounds to throw into something. And we're going to put these into the Lord of Afflictions. Try to peel him off if I can. And not a great roll. Oof. That's 3 1s. It's going to be 7 mortal wounds. I'm going to take 3d3. It can't be negated, so I'm going to take 4. And only 7 damage to you. About as bad as that spell can get.
7 4-ups. I'm only going to pass 3, so he'll take 4. I think it's 4. A fair trade. Fair trade.
I don't know. I don't know if that is. So that was one of my primal dice. Manfred is then going to attempt to cast Aether Void Pendulum. And currently on a 4, I will... I'll just fail that. Manfred is then going to attempt to cast his War Scroll spell. And he's going to miscast for D3. He takes 1. He ignores the first of the face.
All right.
And with that going that badly, that is going to change some plans here. So I've got just 1 cast left to make here. It's going to be the Necromancer, and I'm going to attempt to cast... we'll do a Mystic Shield. And that's going to go off on a 9.
Are you going to add anything to it?
Nope. And he blocked it. So that is going to be it for my casting phase. We'll get into movement. After my abysmal casting phase, really a pivot here in terms of how I'm handling this, I expected that to go much better, but here we are. So all I did was really make some significant retreats. I know that if I get the double here, I'll be able to swing in and have tremendous impact. I hold the objectives I need, and I got my battle tactic by swinging everything out to the edges that needed to be out on the edges. So that's going to be it for my movement phase here. I am then going to bring my 20 Grave Guard in that are still in the grave, see what I can do with them. A couple of charges to make here then after the Deep Strike. So that unit of Grave Guard going to attempt first. They need a 9, and they got a 10, so they are going in. And while Justin's working with those models, I'm going to attempt to charge with the Sons of Elmorn, and they are in on a 10 as well.
I'm going to spend one of mine to Unleash Hell.
Okay.
It's going to be 21 attacks, 4s and 3s because of the -1. We're going to max you out on disease for that. So just 6 at no run.
6 5-ups. Gonna make 3 of those, and then 6s. Gonna make one of those, reroll 1. So I'm gonna make one of those. So that's just gonna be 1 dead, but then maxed in disease. And then we can, and I made the charge with the Sons of Elmorn there. The Sons of Elmorn are going to attempt to shut off the pile-in from the Beast of Nurgle on a 2-up. Yes, the Beast of Nurgle cannot make pile-in moves. And then they are going to use the Shield Up ability. So they're not going to pile in, but their save characteristic is going to go to a 3. And then we'll get into the combat phase. The first activation is going to be with the Graveguard here.
I'm going to attempt to all-out defense here.
And do you want to do something with Sloppity?
Yeah, I'm going to Well, you can't pile in, right? I'm gonna make 6s to hit, do mortal wounds.
Okay. All right. So we'll see if you can use a combat phase ability. I am gonna all-out attack here. So it does not cost. I failed the roll there. It's not going to cost you any
so they're
extra.
all out defense.
Okay, all out defense on the plague drones. And all out attack. And so we're going to have 17 of them in here. So 34, 35 attacks. And we're on 3s and 3s. So that is going to be 4 mortal wounds and 14 saves to make.
14 5-ups, and then we'll figure out if 14 5-ups. I'm going to make 3 of those.
Okay, they're 2 damage each, so that's 22 plus the 4 mortal wounds. We're looking at 26.
Okay, I'm going to roll these twice. So I'm going to make, on the first roll,
Pretty good on the first roll.
so that's 1 dead and 1 with a
six
wound on
damage
it.
so far.
6, and then we're going to do it again. So I'm going to,
Another 6, so 12 damage total.
1 will be left on for you guys.
Okay. And your activation.
My Sloppity will pile around
Oh, Horticulus.
Horticulus, thank you.
Sure.
In fight, he's going to have 3 attacks. These are going to be 3s and 3s. 1 at -1.
1 at -1.
4 up. D3
Take it.
for 2.
6 ups. Going to take both. That's going to kill one of them.
And then D3 attacks for 3, or sorry, for 2 3s, 1 disease, and 1 at -2.
Goes through.
2 damage.
Okay. 6 ups. Takes both of those, so I've taken a total of 4 damage so far.
And how many? There's 6, 8 in that unit?
It's 10.
Oh,
10,
okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Okay. The Sons of Elmorn then are going to swing back, put everything into that Beast of Nurgle. So first up, we've got the Great Tomb Blade from Jelson. That is going to be 3 hits and 3 wounds, but because of the 2 6s, it's also going to be 2 mortal wounds.
So 3 wounds at
-1.
3 6-ups. Didn't make any?
2 apiece.
5-ups. So I'm going to make 5 of those take 4 damage.
Okay.
He's at 5 taken.
And then the White Blade from the Marshal. 1 hit and 1 wound at -1.
6 up. Nope.
1 damage.
He's okay.
Okay.
He'll fight back. This is 3. And just 1 at -1.
1 at -1 is going to be a 4-up. And
2
they
damage.
2 damage, 6 ups. Going to fail both of those, and I'm going to put those on the big boy, on the giant.
All right, and then D6.
Well, we'll see how much damage comes in here.
1 and 1. No rend.
1 at no rend, failed that.
Just 1 damage.
Okay, 6 up, failed that. So that is going to be 3 damage on the giant. And then your plague drone can go.
2 attacks, 3s and 3s. No. 6 attacks, 3s and 3s. 2 more disease, but you're already maxed out. And that's going to be 5 saves at no run.
5 5-ups. Gonna make 1 of those, 4 6-ups. Gonna drop all 4 of those. That's 4 damage on them. That's gonna be it for combat. So I hold 1, I hold 2.
Well,
We've got
some stuff
disease,
to do.
yeah.
I have a battle shock. I owe you. If I roll a 1, I'll bring back D3 plague drones. No, and then 7 dice here. You'll take 1.
Where that's on the graveyard.
Yeah.
6 ups. Takes it.
I assume that's only 1 on this unit of Graveguard. They will take it.
Okay. And no 6 ups, so 1 will die.
Into the True Blades, no. Into these guys, no. Into Manfred, yes. He'll ignore it.
Yep. The Dire Wolves healed their 1 at the beginning of the turn for my Deathless Invocations. So that should be
Do you
good
owe
for
me a
disease.
battle shock on?
I do. I'm going to auto pass that one.
Okay.
And so at the end of this turn, I hold the center objective. I hold this objective on this side. I didn't take that one, but I won 2 more, and I completed my battle tactic with those 3 spread units. So that's going to be another 5-point turn for me. And we've got a priority roll for round 4. And I've got a 1 to your 3.
All right, I'll keep the priority.
Okay.
Locust Fecundity will go off first. This will go to 0. D3 here. He'll go to 1. D3 here. He'll go to 2. D3 here. He'll be safe. For my battle tactic, I am going to take... I'm going to do Feed the Maggots. I complete this tactic if at least 7 enemy models are slain by disease rolls during this turn.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a Hail Mary, but I don't have much better to do.
Sure.
My Wheel of Corruption is going to tick to number 2. That is going to be Fecund Vigor, so all my units would have been within the locus of fecundity anyways.
We need to roll for primal dice. We get 1 each, and then I'll roll for my 3-up, and I get another one.
And I'll do my contagion points. I was able to get 1 back wholly within 3, 6, 7, 8, and you have. So that will bring me to 13. Heroic action, I am going to attempt to get another command point from my general. We will get it.
I am going to teleport Manfred, get him to safety. We'll do the combat phase again for the punishment.
Movement. So I have a kind of a Hail Mary battle tactic here where I have to kill 7 models with disease. So I need to get as much shooting in as possible and, you know, just kind of hope here. So, yeah, this is where we're at.
At the end of movement phase, on a 4-up, I will get the half-strength unit back of the Sons of Elmorn. And I do. Sons of Elmorn coming back.
I am going to then go into shooting. I'm going to have 20 attacks into your Graveguard. I'm going to all-out attack here.
And I'll all-out defense.
This will be 3s and 3 6s will do a disease. So they're maxed out already on disease. That's huge. And then 3s. 7.
7 of them. On 4s, because of the all-out defense, gonna take 4 and then 6s. Going to make 2 of those, reroll a 1. Gonna make 2 of those, kills 2. But you did max them out.
I'm gonna do the 7 shots from my plague drone into these guys.
Graveguard, yep.
That doesn't matter anymore. Oh, So it's just going to be 3. No run.
3, no disease. Well, they're capped on disease. So 4 ups, gonna say 1. 6 ups, takes 2. 2 more dead.
And then 10 attacks into the dogs. Ooh, nice. So they will get 3 disease.
Okay.
And they'll just have to make 2 saves.
Okay, 2, 5 ups. Made 1, 6 up. Nope, takes 1.
I'm going to first attempt to charge with this beast. I'm going to re-roll that with Horticulous. No, 5 will not be good enough. I'm going to go with my Plague Bearers. 9 will be good enough.
I am going to counter charge at this point with the True Blades. And they got a 5. That's not real good. Doesn't quite get me where I want to go, so I'm going to leave them out.
I'm going to charge with my 2 Pusco Blight Lords. 6. I'm going to re-roll this. 5 is worse.
Impact hits here into the True Blades.
So one's going to be on a 2, and one's going to be on a 4. D3 for 2, and then a 4. Nope.
They'll succeed at one of those. That is going to finish off this wounded guy.
Sloppity is going to attempt a big charge. 9. No, he'll just stay where he's at. We'll go into...
Do you want your summoned beast to attempt to charge?
Oh yeah, well, why not? He'll need a 9. Nope. Okay. Into combat phase. I'm gonna fight first with my 2. I'm gonna play right, far.
Sure.
I'm gonna fight with my 2 guys.
I am going to try to make you fight last with my Curse Blood here on a 3. So that unit is fighting last. The unit of Puscoils.
I will fight first with my Plague Drone.
Okay.
2 attacks. 3s and 3s. Nope. And then he has 6 attacks. None. You're a go.
Okay. I will go with that same unit of Graveguard. Just 2 of them in range here. It can't
Just
pile
one.
in. Just one of them in range, so 2 attacks. Both 1 hit, no wounds.
I'll go with my Plague Bearer. This is going to be 1 attack. Nope. Go ahead.
Okay. And the Graveguard back into that Plague Bearer. 1 hit, no wounds. The Dire Wolf into the Puscoil. 1 hit, 1 wound, no red.
This is a 4-up. Nope. And a 5-up. Nope. I'll take 1.
And I've got 3 of the Askergen that can go into the Blight Lords. One of them is the leader. So that is going to be a total of 8 attacks on 3s and 3s. And that is going to be 4 of them at -1.
So it'll be 4 5-ups. Damage.
1 damage each.
5-ups. I'll take 2 more.
And then the Curse Blood with his extended reach is going to get in as well. And he's got 5 attacks. These are going to hit on 4s. And wound on 3s. And that's it.
So I'll have 10 attacks going back.
This is into the True Blades.
Yeah.
I'm going to all-out defense them.
Yep. So this will be 10 attacks, 3s and 3s. So that will be 3, 6, 7 at -1.
7 at -1 are going to be 4-ups with the all-out defense. And I'm going to take 4 of those, so 6-up wards. Going to take all 4 of those. That is going to kill a couple models. Do you have more attacks coming?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 4 coming in so far.
And then this will be 12 attacks. Need 6s. Only 1, but good attack. And then it'll just be 6 at no run.
Okay, these are going to be 3-ups with that all-out defense. And going to fail 2 of those, so 2 6-ups. Okay, so I've got a total of 6 damage coming into that unit.
So I'm going to remember relentless attackers here. If a wound characteristic of 3 or less within 3, roll 1 dice for each model in that unit that is within 3, like my unit. For each roll that exceeds the enemy's wound characteristic, that enemy suffers 1 mortal wound.
Okay, you roll for each unit?
It's just 1 enemy unit.
Okay.
So I'm sorry, I was going into the troop blades.
Okay, so what happened?
Just 1 mortal wound.
1 mortal wound?
Yep.
6-up? Okay, blocked it.
Sounds good. Here's the real meat and potatoes here.
You need 7 models here?
Yeah, and here's the deal. If I don't complete my battle tactic here, we're just going to call it.
Sure. You want to do the wolves first? They've got 4.
4 on the wolves, 5 ups. 3 mortal wounds.
Okay, 6-ups. Made 1, that is going to kill 1 wolf.
And then 7 into the Graveguard. That's only going to do 1.
Okay, 6-up.
Oh, sorry.
They're going to lose 1, so you've killed 2 models so far.
I need to go flawless here. No, I can't. We're gonna shake hands.
Sure.
Because those guys are multiple. Good
Yeah,
game.
so you're gonna hold 1, and that is it.
Yeah, and the points are gonna be.
Yeah, hold 1 and failed battle tactic. And then I'm looking. I've already completed my grand strategy. I'm looking good on ability to deny yours, and we're just gonna get further ahead from there. So, welcome back to the game, Justin. I mean, it was a little bit of a grinder, which we knew going in that Soulblight versus Nurgle was going to be a little bit of a grinder, and I mean, it sure was.
It was a slog. I like my army. I think your army is really good. Like, I like my build of my army. It's not so beast heavy, but I wasn't able to be super effective with the Rotmire Creed. I guess that was a disappointment, but I don't really know what I could have done differently to.
You didn't have a great place to throw them in. You know, hindsight being what it is, maybe you line them up and start railing into the True Blades, but the True Blades were very inconsequential through this game. So I don't know that you really get ahead much more by going into that side.
I was a little nervous of the Hoarfrosted True Blades too.
Sure, when they're fully buffed, they can start to get really killy. You know, if you put them on 3 rend or hitting on 1s, they're a little bit more killy. Their offensive output was really crippled, of course, by your no pile-in, which is such a good rule that I'm paying 220 points to get it on 1 unit.
Yeah. Manfred is a complete nightmare.
Oh, he's incredible. The hunger is so much better now that what felt like pretty limited durability before becomes much better durability, and you're much more comfortable having him in combat, especially like he was the one turn that he was really in combat when he was on +2 to save. He feels really good in those spots. In hindsight, I maybe should have left him in combat on that following turn and really tried to peel your Lord of Afflictions off. If your Lord of Afflictions would have gotten wounded a little bit more by that Merciless Blizzard, that would have been what I went for. I just didn't think I could get there on it, and with no buffs up at that point, I felt like I'd die on the backswing. So it is what it is.
This game was a prime example of how filthy the Merciless Blizzard is to the caster of it.
It can be. I mean, you get 3 1s out of 4 dice. It's real bad. But
I think this wasn't a good showing for Magic. I don't think this is a typical game of how Magic will go.
I had some ugly miscasts. I had some. The Merciless Blizzard did more damage to me than to you, which is definitely anomalous. The Pendulum seemed fine. Like I was glad to have the pendulum out there and doing some damage. In reality, though, this sort of build, yeah, maybe it wouldn't be better against your Nurgle list, but this sort of build running the Maelstrom so that I'm doubling that up with the area of effect mortals that are coming from Manfred to really ping off a lot of low wound heroes and to get some attrition going with both of those area of effect bombs feels pretty compelling. And then because this is such a combat oriented force, Geminids would just be incredible. But coming into this, I know Geminids is good. I know Maelstrom is good. I don't need to test them, right? So I'm trying out some other things.
I thought Pendulum was, or I'm sorry, yeah, Pendulum.
Yeah,
I thought
Pendulum.
it was scary. It was great. I mean, D6 mortal wounds is nothing to sneeze at, and
Absolutely.
I mean, my army might not feel it as hard as a lot of other armies, but there's going to be some armies that, between battle shock and just the normal amount of damage it does, it's going to really affect them.
And I didn't really do it here. I didn't really get into a position where it was set up. But the gist of this list, the power of this list, is the ability to teleport that Vampire Lord up 9 inches away and then try to get the combo of the Pendulum and Merciless Blizzard off, ideally in the bottom of the turn, so that he's a 2-caster. Dump both of those into a critical piece, hopefully splashing some other mortal wounds around, with just racking up the primal dice. Now, obviously, things aren't going to always work that way, but even if you get one of those off, it becomes a pretty big swing. And then the fact that you can just teleport him back to safety again in the opponent's turn is just so big. Or if you get the double, he can stay there, he can do it again, and you can use that heroic action somewhere else, teleport something else. So
Soulblight's just in a really nice spot still.
it really is. And Legion of Blood was just consuming all the oxygen in the room. The only real, well, Legion of Blood was so good that people weren't looking beyond it. And Virkos is so good that people are not looking past it very much. But when you get to the back half of this book, Castellai is a solid combat army. It's a little too honest. It doesn't have the tricks it maybe needs, but it's a solid combat army with good numbers. And Legion of Night has just a bucket of tricks. And again, we didn't see them as much as we could have here, but what we did see was that Justin was continuously thinking about them, playing around them. And I'll go back to your top of 2 when I gave you that turn. You were not able to come into the things that you really wanted to come into because of the threat of the tricks that this could do. And that, in and of itself, even if you don't see the raw power on the table, forcing your opponent into difficult decisions is always a great place to be.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just such an exceptional bag of tools with recursion that just, nothing ever seems to stay dead. Great casting for the new book, and, can utilize just all the tricks. It's a strong book. The battle tactics, now, you obviously had a super easy grand strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And
very easy battle tactics as well.
I think my book, Nurgle, I feel like one thing that I was noticing is because I didn't have a wizard and because I have a couple battle tactics I can use for my book, I feel pretty capped around like 4 battle tactics that I can do.
And that's a really rough spot to be. We saw down in round 4 here that you really had to take a Hail Mary or big gamble to try to get a battle tactic because there wasn't one that lined up for it.
I never went back and just did the retreat and then charge thing,
Retreat and charge, yeah.
which would have been possible to get. So my mistake. But
beasts are lined up for that perfectly, right?
Yeah.
They are the sort of unit you want for that.
I should definitely have used that one. I would have kept the game a little closer. At the same time, I'm so thankful this game is over at this point of the night.
Definitely a slog. Well, hopefully you've been able to notice through the course of the night that we made some upgrades to our audio equipment. And, well, you will know by the time you're listening to this whether that was fruitful or not. We've gotten some contributions on our Patreon and some helpful donations that have helped us to make some of those upgrades.
Hold on, before you wrap this.
Sure.
people stay this late for hot takes.
Sure.
Give them a couple. You give one, I'll give one from this new GHB.
New GHB.
Give me your what you're most concerned about.
So I think that the power level of primal dice is let me think about this hot take. You go first, Justin.
I'll say one good thing, and this will I want you to think about this when you're answering. Primal dice is slightly balanced by the fact that ones occur, and when you're staring at a 1 on 2 dice, you're always a little reluctant to throw out that 3rd dice, right?
Right. Primal dice are also they benefit the unbinder more than they benefit the caster, because you know your destination number. You know the number that you have to get to. When you're casting, if your opponent has primal dice, you're just trying to hit a big number and hoping that's enough.
My biggest complaint, though, and I'll go into my... I frequently like to play armies without wizards. I like shorter hero phases.
Sure.
I like things like that. I don't think there's been enough bonuses given to armies without wizards. Nullstone Icon is average at best. It's something that you could already do in your hero phases. And then you have, the other 2, like kind of nullstone things or whatever, the anti-magic things
Which are both
extremely
very poor. Yeah.
limited. So, if you're going to make a book this strong, throw us a good battalion. The anti-magic battalion, I think, is limited at best and increases your drops, so you're frequently not going to see it. The battalion for magic is strong, so that's a little bit of an issue because it's even strengthening that a little bit. I wanted a little bit more counter.
Yeah, I was really impressed with how strong that battalion was, because it was frequently 2 extra primal dice. And the primal dice are, when you have the same number of primal dice as the unbinder, it is not much of a bonus to have, right? It's just some extra randomness in the rolls. But when you have more primal dice... Even one more. But when your number is bigger, you can start to lean on that.
Especially if you just build around a couple bonuses in your army.
Yep.
Like your Morbag's Claw always has 2 extra. Now you basically have, let's call that a half of a dice, because an average roll is a 3, so You're getting a 2 out of that. So now you're 1.5 times better.
Well, and one of the nice things about that is that then starts to bait out your opponent's primal dice before you get to the big cast that you want to dump a bunch of primal dice into, because just your regular spells are starting to become very difficult to unbind. And a lot of those are very tempting targets to unbind as well. I mean, even just unbinding Mystic Shield, it's hard to leave that Mystic Shield out there on a big target. And if your opponent is starting to burn their primal dice on that, then your primal dice are free to go, right?
All right, hot take. I gave you some time.
Okay. I believe that the last thing in this meta that was needed was an incentive for leaning harder into Magic. I think Magic, especially with the arrival of the Seraphon book, Tzeentch is in a great place. Lumineth is on the downswing, and largely because Lumineth can't benefit from whatever's going on here. But Magic is strong enough. It is a big enough incentive to run it without this, to then double down on both making Magic a little bit more potent with the incredibly strong endless spells. These are the strongest endless spells we've seen. And then the battle tactics that revolve around them, I think was it was an incentive in the wrong direction. I would have liked to see those incentives work counter to that. The anti-magic battalion, the counter battalion, which historically has been a good balancing element, they've overdone it in the past. But the problem is that bonuses to damage against the foot wizards that really benefit from Mantorian Locus aren't significant. Doing more damage with your melee units into 5 wound foot wizards isn't significant. You're killing them anyway when you get into them. So I would have liked to see that work fundamentally differently. I don't know if a spell ignore would have been enough, but perhaps something like a direct opposite, where your unbinders get an extra dice or something like that once per turn.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see some more direct counterplay in that way.
I kind of wonder, and I know you disagree, if there will have to be, because we're sitting with this book for a year, if there's going to have to be some tweaks after 6 months. We did, and before you say that doesn't usually happen, we did see what they did with monsters in the first book, where they made the hit list. So maybe they tweak a little bit there. But largely, I think we're playing with this for a year, and I mean, it's one game.
Regardless of what happens, and regardless of power level, this battle plan added to it. But the clunkiness of the turn start is maybe at an all-time high.
Yes.
And I'm currently teaching a couple people who are new to the game. And that is a big hill to overcome when you're working through so many rules before you even do anything.
No, the
doesn't
start of the
feel
battle
great.
round's insane right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the game.